Good afternoon, boys and girls. So, we start with the poem Telephone Conversation. This poetry is a satire on racism and biases the colonial era had. The poetry is a comical telephone conversation between an African man who is looking for a room to rent and a landlady who is screening him by his skin color. The opening situation. The speaker has almost finalized renting the house. The only thing left is to reveal his identity. The African has found one with fair price. The location he doesn't mind. The landlady has assured him she herself doesn't live on this property, so there's nothing left to settle. The speaker honestly tells the landlady that he is African before traveling. He does not want to waste his time if she is unwillingly to rent the house because of his race. This stanza introduces the landlady's prejudice. This is a very important This is a very important stanza. It marks the turning point in the poem. The speaker has to reveal his identity knowing that it may cost him the accommodation. The awkward silence. This is the turning sorry Okay. This stanza introduces the landlady's prejudice. The landlady remains silent after hearing that the speaker is an African. When she finally speaks, her voice sounds refined and sophisticated, but her behavior soon reveals racial prejudice. The shocking question. This is the turning point of the poem. Up to this point, the discrimination is hidden. Here, it becomes open and direct. This is the central conflict of the poem. The speaker is shocked by the landlady's question. Instead of asking about his character or background, she judges him only by the color of his skin. A moment of shock. This stanza is rich in imagery and symbolism. The speaker is standing inside a public telephone booth, looking at everything around him as he tries to process the landlady's racist question. Shocked by the landlady's question, the speaker notices the sights and smells around him. The repeated image of red reflects his embarrassment, anger, and emotional discomfort. The poet uses the urban environment, the telephone booth, pillar box, bus, smell, and color to mirror the speaker's disturbed state of mind. Facing reality. This slide shows the speaker's state of mind. After hearing the landlady's racist question, he realizes she is serious. Instead of getting angry, he controls himself and decides to answer the question. It reflects disbelief, embarrassment, and controlled humor. Humor meets prejudice. This is one of the most humorous yet satirical moments in the poem. The speaker realizes that the landlady is obsessed with skin color, so he sarcastically simplifies her question by comparing skin tones to plain and milk chocolate. The landlady repeats her question in a different way. The speaker sarcastically compares skin color to plain and milk chocolate, exposing the absurdity of judging people by their complexion. The tone here is satirical, not merely humorous. The speaker is not making a joke for entertainment. His comparison with plain and milk chocolate is a satirical response. He uses humor to expose how ridiculous and shallow the landlady's obsession with skin color really is. A cold and clinical voice. This marks a change in the landlady's tone. After the speaker's sarcastic plain or milk chocolate comparison, she responds in a cold, emotionless, almost scientific manner. The landlady now speaks in a cold and emotional manner. Her voice sounds detached, as if she is examining the speaker rather than talking to another human being. The word clinical does not refer to a hospital. It means cold, detached, and unemotional. The landlady speaks as though she is scientifically classifying the speaker by the color of his skin. This is why the poem's criticism of racism becomes even stronger at this point. A sarcastic answer. The conversation continues where the speaker sarcastically answers the landlady's question. The tone is witty and ironic. The speaker sarcastically describes his skin color as West African sepia and humorously adds that this description is written on his passport. His reply mocks the landlady's obsession with skin color. Now, 2 points to be noted here. West African sepia is not an official passport description. The speaker deliberately invents this expression as a sarcastic and humorous response to the landlady's racist questioning. Second, silence for a septroscopic suggests that the landlady pauses as though she's trying to scientifically classify his skin color. This reinforces the poet's satire on racial prejudice. Explaining the complexion. The speaker patiently explains his complexion while the landlady remains obsessed with classifying his skin color. A witty description. This stanza is one of the most humorous and satirical parts of the poem. The speaker humorously describes the different shades to expose the absurdity of judging a person only by skin color. The final response. This is the final stanza of the poem that leaves us with irony and satire of Soyinka's ending. The speaker's final lines, "Wouldn't you rather see yourself?" is witty and exposes the ridiculousness of the landlady's prejudice. The speaker ends the conversation with a witty remark exposing the foolishness of judging a person solely by the color of their skin. And with that, we come to the end of telephone conversation. What begins as an ordinary phone call ends up exposing the harsh reality of racial prejudice through humor, irony, and satire. I hope this explanation has made the poem simple and easy to understand. Happy learning, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.